Thank you for joining us today. Bob Chapman is our guest, theinternationalforecaster.com. It's a newsletter. You can get a copy of it, a complimentary copy, and then you will be hooked, I am sure. Call 877-479-8178, 877-479-8178, or go to theinternationalforecaster.com. My question regarding our relationship with China and Taiwan now, since we've given them billions of dollars, or since we are giving Taiwan billions of dollars to buy all the little nifty toys they want to use at China, what if China said, okay, fine, you want to do that? We're not going to shut you off from getting things from us. We're just going to increase the tariff 2 to 3 times, or the import fees. What are we going to do? What do you think China could do to us, or do you think they'll do anything, Bob?
Well, the elevation of import fees into China, which would be export fees by the United States to China, is only another leg into the argument that's been going on. The United States raised tariffs on steel, tires, and some other things, and probably rightly so. And I don't know the details of it, but the point is that this escalation's been coming. Usually Taiwan pays for their armaments. I don't know that they've ever been given any.
Well, I'm sorry. We're selling them.
They got a lot of money.
Oh, no, we're selling them to them. I'm sorry.
Yes, we're selling them to them. And they've been a favored nation status. And the main reason is to keep U.S. presence in that area, particularly because Japan's going sideways on it. And you brought that up earlier. And the reason they are is a Sub Rosa deal was cut at the end of the Second World War. The U.S. government decided that all the loot that the Japanese had that they'd stolen from everybody in Asia, that would be split between the U.S. and the Japanese could keep half of it. And I'm sure that the Japanese were well in on the creation, the deliberate creation of World War II. I've never seen anything that proves that, but the way it happened and the way it went down, they had to have known. But anyway, after the war, part of the deal was you back us up on everything, and we'll open our market to you and do all kinds of good stuff for you, and we'll keep you in power. And that one party's been in power ever since the Second World War. And now another party has won, and they're saying, no, we don't want to do this anymore. So now the people are saying, finally, let's get these troops out of here. So geopolitically, that's not a very good situation for the United States in the future. They've got South Korea that they use, but they also need Taiwan, especially in the position that it's in. You might call it a sacrificial goat or a lamb. And in the event of war, they'd probably get obliterated. But I can remember the attacks by Mao Zedong on Taiwan, the bombing, the artillery could reach Taiwan, and they were shooting artillery at them every day, and it went on for years. Most people don't remember it because they're all dead.
Well, when the United States says we're going to sell $6.4 billion to Taiwan, and China says, I think you need to rethink that, they are strongly urging the U.S. to not do that. I think that we're going to end up with a standoff between China. But I'm more concerned not so much about the standoff as I am the financial implications of what they might do to us to harm us, to retaliate us against, since we are providing $6.4 billion. Remember when $1 billion used to be some money? With us doing that. So we're now in a situation where we could become very vulnerable since they make everything practically in this country.
Well, that's true. And, I think that the Chinese ought to get smart. And they ought to get rid of their dollars. And they can do that. They can buy things. They can sell them into the market without deeply disturbing it. In fact, right now would be a great time for them to do it because the dollar's rallied. But more importantly, only about 1 or 2% of their total forex reserves is in gold. They should jack that up to 10%.
Okay, when we come back from this 3-minute break, we're going to talk about gold and silver, 1088. What's happened to gold and silver? We'll be right back. Stay tuned to the Power Hour with our guest, Bob Chapman, theinternationalforecaster.com. That's who he is, the International Forecaster. Bob, back to the issue of the gold going down to 1078. You know, a lot of people are saying that it might go down to 1,000. Do you think there's any chance of that?
There is always the possibility that it could, but all of those people who have been saying for some time that gold wouldn't pass 950, nor 1,000, nor 1,100, nor 1,200 have all been wrong over and over and over again. There's only been a handful of people, about 3 or 4% of the newsletter writers, who have gone long and stayed long and been right. And you've got to ride out these ups and downs. All markets go up and down, sometimes very volatilely or sometimes jaggedly. And so if you believe that the long-term trend in gold and silver is still upward, then you would not want to trade. You would want to stay long. And what these people try to do in their publications is express usually a technical approach to the market. And you can't do that when you have the United States government manipulating the markets every day. Long-term charts, long-term technicals, yes. Short-term, forget it. And so that's why they've been so wrong. And they keep on doing it over and over again. You know, somebody ought to hit them over the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah. Well, it's the poor people out there that are desperately trying to vie for every dollar that they get, that they're wanting to do the right thing. They're wanting to be able to protect themselves against inflation. And, you know, I think that gold and silver is the only way to go in the future. I don't know that there's anything else out there. I don't know. Maybe cigarettes at the time that people barter. Maybe somebody will be willing to pay some good money for some cigarettes or alcohol. I don't know. But this is scary.
But you're right. There's no place to go. I mean, the wealthy can go to Swiss and Canadian treasuries. That's okay. You know, they got millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. You know, if they get a lot of money in gold and silver, say, gee, I really don't want it in there. That's their luxury because they do have money. But the average person, they've got to be in food, the filter, the thing to protect your family. And at the same time, anything that's left over, they got to go into gold and silver. There's nothing else that's going to protect them.
You know, in this next hour, we're going to be talking with Matthew Stein about when technology fails. He's going to tell you the best items to put in a boogie bag, what to take, what to leave, what to worry about that you need to have with you, what to put in your car for an emergency, what to put in if you have to go on foot. I mean, this is going to be very informative. So we're just going to run through all of these need-to-do items. So stay tuned in the next hour for Matthew Stein because he's always such a wealth of information. And with people out there wanting to know what to do or where to go, the question always comes up about the bank holidays, about is their bank going to close? What do you foresee now from reading the status of the banks?
Well, for the time being, they're going to continue to protect the depositors. They have a line of $500 billion, but as I pointed out earlier, 1,000 banks go under and they don't have any more money. That's it.
You're saying that it would take
unless government comes along with another $500 billion and says here.
Okay, but you're saying it would take approximately 1,000 banks for the FDIC to go under?
Yeah.
That's it.
Be insolvent, yeah, and then government would have to make a choice. And probably they might very well do away with the insurance because it's already cost them $500 billion. And, you know, for years and years there was no insurance. And even in Europe up until recently, accounts were insured for very small amounts of money, like $20,000 or $35,000, and that was it. And a lot of them have dropped that as well. And, you know, I think it's a case of buyer beware. The system should not be socialized. If you put your money into an institution, you better be sure, you should be sure, without insurance, that they can pay you, that they're not lending over 8 to 10 times their basic deposits. Right now, the banks are still hung out 40 times on average deposit that they've lent out, or they've bought things like collateralized debt obligations and other investments, and they're all losers. That's why so many of them are going under.
You know, a while back on the program, you mentioned something about the pick and pay loans. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's option arms.
Okay, what is the status of that? Do we still have any more of those going on?
Oh, that's dreadful. They got to go on for another 4 years.
Okay, explain the pick and pay to people.